Hello, you amazing humans. Guess what? We have another amazing show. Okay, I got to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Michael Fielden, my dear, incredible co host on this show, he brought this up to me ChatGPT connectors. Now, we're going to get into what that means. But once you understand what Michael's going to show you, will blow your stinking minds because I've been playing with this thing for the last probably 24 to 36 hours. And I put multiple searches through it. And the data that I've sent my clients and my family, because they're thinking about selling at one of their properties, it will blow your stinking mind. So, Michael, before we get into it, I want everybody to know, what shirt are you wearing right now?
Of course I'm right.
Of course you're right. You're Mike.
Yeah. So this was a Father's Day gift for my daughter, and I gotta love it. I'm also proud that I think she thought I was slightly smaller than I am, so it's a little tight for my taste. But hey, nice to see everybody out there. I'm Michael Fielden, and I have an exciting announcement, Greg. I think connectors are amazing, and they were just released here on June 4th. But just this week, right after that announcement, we released the regeeks.com website. So if you are looking for our old content and want information, and especially when we have shows like this where we are going to have sample prompts, you now have a place to go get those prompts. You can go to regeeks, you can find the show you want, and you can see any attachments that we talked about. It's going to be an awesome way for us to keep up with you guys, and I'm super excited about this. And it is almost as cool as my shirt.
Well, you know what, the thing about RE Geeks, I'm going to put that in the comment area here in a minute, or you can actually put it so we can display it. Yeah. The thing is that the important thing is here are the prompts. Now, I had a conversation with my father prior to getting on and doing our show today, but the most important thing about social media and about chat and about AI is creating the right prompt. Because if you ask it for like I need to see a Honda that was made in 1982, that was white with black rims, with a little bit of rust on the bumper, blah blah blah. Very basic, very very basic, right? Here's the thing: Michael has created a multi-page, multi-prompt part of the site so that you guys can go in there and literally copy and paste, and you'll get information that you guys want to see immediately. So let's not waste time. Let's talk about connectors and how powerful it's going to be.
I just felt an aneurysm coming on because the prompts aren't all there yet. We will be adding them with each show, and I'm going to be going back to get them. But there will be a place for you to go get prompts so that when we're talking about things here, you have a place to go.
And that's the point, because and Michael, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of times prompts are going to shift and change over time. So as the market changes, as your life changes, as information changes, you need to understand how to write, read, and then barf back out these prompts. And so Michael's going to be building that out. I will be sitting on the sidelines because I have no idea what I'm doing with that. But let's jump into connectors and how powerful this really, literally how powerful this is.
All right, let's get started. So before we go into how to use these and what they do, basic connectors are simple. They're connecting your tools, your Google email, your Google Drive to ChatGPT. So you have the opportunity to access your email, your Google Drive. And this is even better if you are using HubSpot. Right now, you can integrate with HubSpot, so you can pull from your client database at the same time. So, Greg, drop us back over where we've got ChatGPT, and let's talk about how we get into this. All of you have probably seen this screen, ChatGPT. I am going to take the logo out of there because you need to be able to see the top right corner where you have this initial of your logged in account. I believe that in order to take advantage of this product, you need to be on a paid subscription for ChatGPT.
But that's only $20 a month. Why would you not do that?
Some people don't like to spend money.
That's
I
like
get it.
Starbucks for 2 days.
I don't like spending money either.
Yes,
Starbucks
you
has gotten
do, you
expensive.
liar. Yes, you do, you liar.
Starbucks has gotten like steep. I went in the other day, and I have two daughters that are 19 and 20, and of
Beautiful
course
woman, by the way. Beautiful.
they texted me their order, and it's like 8 pages deep, right? It's like writing a
Seriously?
ChatGPT prompt, and the lady's all right, that one will be $12 or something. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we go into the icon up here. We click on that. Now I want you to go to settings.
I'm going to back you up really quickly on this. So you explained this to me the other day on a private conversation, and you walked me through this. And I had no clue this is actually available and what the power of this was. So for the beginners, you would sign up for the paid version of ChatGPT,
Yep.
right? Second off, we're gonna follow exactly what you're gonna say to do, because I'm still confused on this thing, guys. I am honestly
This is
gonna
easy.
be true.
They're gonna love this. Okay, so before we go into that, if you have a ChatGPT account, you can come to the upper right hand corner, click on settings, and if you're not a paid subscriber, click on subscription and manage your subscription. Okay, this is going to give you the flexibility of using all of the features, including ChatGPT 4.0 as part of your work. So definitely worth the $20.
Oh, 100%.
After that, or if you're already a subscriber, go ahead and click on connectors. Now, I am already connected into the tools that I use, but I'm going to scroll down here, and you'll notice that they have a whole set of connectors: Box, GitHub, HubSpot CRM, Outlook calendars, SharePoint, Teams. You can connect into Dropbox, which I've already done, Gmail, Google Calendar, and Google Drive. I'm going to back out of Gmail here real quick so that you can see how this works.
So can you add connections that were not available on that screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. So that will be here next. So now you'll notice I've disconnected from Gmail, and it's going to show up here. So you're going to click on the connector that you want, click connect. It's going to tell you the permissions, privacy, and that you are in control of your data. There is always inherently a risk of putting your data out on the internet, but it's not like it's broadcasting it. Somebody's going to want to go through a massive hack, and even then, they're not going to be looking for your specific data. So I think your actual risk is pretty low here, especially in this industry. Then we'll continue on to Google. You're going to get your normal thing where you select an account. I'm going to pull an account from here. Okay, you enter your password.
It really is this simple, guys. It really is.
It's going to ask you what permissions. You'll want to select all if you want the full benefit. I've already pre-selected permissions, so it's going to grab those same ones. And then I'm going to click continue. Okay, continue again. And now you'll notice that it's up at the top. And the key word here is deep research, which I know sounds super exciting, but it really just means that now we can integrate and query the data that is in these sources. So all of that data that I've been collecting over the years in email and Dropbox and Google Calendar and Google Drive is all there and accessible to me. Okay. So from there, we're going to click the X. We're going to close that, and we're back to the ChatGPT 4 window. Now you'll notice at first blush, there's nothing different. Okay. Where's the excitement? There's no fireworks. There's no fanfare, none of that. However, if you click on tools, you'll notice that you have a run deep research option. Okay. And when you click on that, that's going to give you more data as far as what you are searching. Okay. And the deep research, you can come over here to this down arrow and you can tell it What do you want to search in? Okay. And this is important, right? Do you just want it to be a web search? Do you want it to search your Dropbox folder? Do you want it to include Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive? If you have Box or anything more, you can add that in as well.
So here's my question for you, Michael. And this is something that I was running earlier today. Is that I was with my, I was on the phone with my dad, and I was running a query, per exactly what you just talked about. And it started at like, I think hiccups, 6 or 7 sources. It got up to 28 or 30 plus sources that it was searching from. And it takes a couple of minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. We're not talking an hour or two. We're talking like a couple of minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, depending on what your search is. But it is phenomenally interesting. I sent this a report over to my girlfriend yesterday when you and I first talked about it. And I'm like, what do you think about this data? She's like, this is fascinating because it goes so deep. But I'm going to let you get back to it because I know you have so much more to share.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is, rather than me go through this, I'm going to drop to another screen here real quick. And I want to talk about some of what we can get and do with this. Okay. So a lot of us have been using ChatGPT to play, right? We enter very short bits of information and we kind of use it like Google on steroids. Okay. It's really not. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is realize that ChatGPT as a whole is a significantly larger resource than what you have now available with Google. Okay. Don't dumb it down. Make sure that you are putting in context, purpose, and what results you want, right? This is what you're trying to do. This is what you're trying to do it for, and here's what you want to get out of it.
So walk me through that as a layman. Just give me a basic idea of like let's say you're looking for a taco shop.
We're gonna do that right here, Greg. So as we look at deep research prompts, okay, analyze the topics discussed in emails within the folder name in my Gmail account. Summarize the major themes and identify recurring issues. Okay, so maybe this prompt starts off with a little more context. I am a residential property manager that focuses on 1 to 4 unit properties in the San Francisco Bay Area. Analyze the key topics discussed in emails within the folder labeled property managers in my Gmail account. Okay, and that's the important part because now we're telling them where to search. Okay, summarize the major, and this says themes. I'm going to change this for you. Summarize the major issues and identify recurring problems that I have had in my properties. Now it's going to go through whether you have 1 property under management or 1,000, and it's going to refine and give you the recurring issues that come up. Okay. Yes, it's reading through your email. It may take a few minutes, but this isn't something that you can do because not only would you have to find the issues, you'd have to determine what's a recurring issue. And if you spread that across 100 properties or 1,000 properties, this is some really good detail. Okay, this really helps you as you're negotiating new contracts. So, hey, I have an HVAC company. Maybe I want to go through and determine in my property management folder, how many HVAC problems have I had in the last 4 years?
Oh, that's good.
Because they want to know what their spend is and what their risk is, right? And these are some of the prompts that we're going to put up on on regeeks.com. So don't feel like you have to copy these down, but keep in mind that this isn't the whole prompt, right? You may want to add other details in. Just because I've written a prompt doesn't mean that you can't expand on this and add detail to fill in what matters for you. Okay. This bottom one.
What would that look like? I'm sorry, but I'm so curious about this.
That's exactly what I said, right? Let's look at the bottom one. Use deep research. okay, feature and investigate HVAC repairs. Okay, here I'm adding in details based on the information found in my Gmail and Google Drive. Now I'm adding in Google Drive. Provide a comprehensive overview and show the invoices that you see related to HVAC and cite relevant emails and any supporting documents. See, I'm expanding on that, Greg, to fill in the details that matter to me, because again, I can only give you a generic idea of a prompt. The more detail that you give ChatGPT, the better your results are going to be.
So what I'm hearing here really quickly is that information is at the best point. Like, you can never give it too much information. You want to give it as much information as you possibly can and be as detailed as you possibly can. I tried that today on another one of my searches, and it came back several times with different information for me, because I asked it for, okay, that's great. I need this. I need that. I need to add that, blah, blah, blah. And it reacted very, very quickly. And Michael, would you say, because you're much more knowledgeable about this than I am, and would you say that if you told it to go do 100,000 things, whatever else, it would come back with a super defined result for you that you're like, oh, that's stinking good?
So yeah, if you tell it that the result I want is a super well-defined result, then absolutely it's going to come back with that. But that's not where I think the benefit of AI lies. AI's benefit is being able to give you perspective, right? And a lot of times
Right.
I ask for, a perspective other than my own, because ChatGPT is going to learn from my queries, what I like, and all of those things. What I want to focus on is giving enough information to get something that I may not have thought about.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
deep. All right.
It's definitely different than what we're talking about here. Now we're going to jump on to the next one. Let's talk about, more Gmail specific prompts. Identify all emails related to a client over the past 6 months, summarize the discussions, and outline any action items. Okay, if you're working with a buyer, this is a great one. Summarize any positive comments that Greg McDaniel has sent regarding properties I've emailed him over the last 6 months. Okay,
Oh,
here's
that
another
is
one.
fascinating.
Analyze the sentiment of a client. Okay, extract all orders. If you're working with title or something, put all of those in there. And then, of course, this is another great one, because doing things with AI that save us time is important. Draft a polite and professional response to the email discussing whatever it is. First, I want you to summarize the problem in 2 sentences. Okay, here's where we talk about limiting, Greg. Can it get down to it? Then I want you to propose a solution. Okay, this is a great way to do this. And what you might put is propose 2 solutions. Okay, you can come up with 2 different solutions. Super powerful way to do that. As we go into Google Drive, I know a lot of us have been putting contracts and PDFs and, stored emails in Google Drive for years. I use Dropbox and Google Drive. I've got so much data in there, it's hard to even find what I want. Okay, but now you can go in there, and I'm going to start with the second one here. Summarize the key information from the presentation named blah, 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 blah in my Google Drive. Focus on the main points and conclusion slides. And now I would say the rest of this prompt is tell me something, right? You want it to give you something back. Third one down, compare the data in documents. Okay, maybe you've put rent rolls in something into Google Drive and you want to go back through this. Not every one of these is perfect for every occasion or every user, but this is a super powerful way for you to get at information that you previously haven't even touched.
Okay, I have to stop you for a second. I got to stop you for a second. Okay, so we all know that we can upload information like photos or documents into chat, right? Or as my dad calls it, George. Anyways, let's say you're doing a CMA, comparison to market analysis, and you're like, okay, I really don't understand like all this information. So I can take the links from the MLS, or do I have to download the information? Let's say there's
You have to download
5,
the information.
huh?
You have to download the information into a PDF.
Okay, download, then upload into it. So
just
let's
so
say
everybody understands why, Greg,
why?
you have to log into the MLS, so it's secure. You can't share a link to just anybody.
Okay, so let's say we download the information. We have 5 comparables for a property we're going to say sell for round number $1 million, 500,000, whatever. It doesn't matter. The number doesn't care. So I can take that and I can say, what prompt? Actually, I'm not even going to try to do this. I'm going to ask you, what kind of prompt after you've uploaded 5 comparables to how would you tell the system to run a market analysis?
So I probably wouldn't. I don't feel like at this point in time that's a great example for ChatGPT, because you're giving it a very finite amount of data. There are better tools to create CMA. Use the tools that
Or
they
RPR.
are. You could, however, upload the 5 properties to ChatGPT and say, create me a CMA. I just do not believe it's going to be as comprehensive or as good looking as what you could get in Cloud CMA or NAR RPR.
I agree with that. I guess I didn't phrase my question correctly.
Let me give you a better example, Greg, to help you out. You've got a deal going. Okay. It's a complex deal. It's a $4 million property. It's been back and forth. There's been issues with the disclosures. There's been inspection problems. There's been just pages and pages of reports and analysis and stuff that go into this. And you've put all of this into Google Drive. Okay. You've just stored it. You've got your car documents that, release the disclosures and all of those pieces, right? You put it all in there. Okay. In the modern 2025 timeframe, the normal approach is you turn it over to an Irene or somebody that does your risk management.
True.
Okay. And what do? They go through every single document. They make sure that somebody signed it, that everything is filled in, and the information is appropriate. Okay. That is done thousands of times every year.
Right.
Now imagine a scenario where you throw all your information into Google Drive and you craft a prompt that says, please go to this folder in my Google Drive, analyze the documents that are there, give me any immediate red flags, make sure that everything is signed, and make sure that the file is complete so that I can get paid on that document. There is absolutely no reason and nothing that would hold back chat from giving you that information.
So that's where the connecting comes into play. So you're connecting with the system's connecting with you, but you have to understand the prompts, like you said. Hey, search my email, search my drive, Google Drive, search my Dropbox, look for this specific file, so on and so forth, because now you're becoming surgical. You're not using a sword, you're using a scalpel so that you can get right down to the bone, hypothetically.
Yep.
And really get the information. Because I remember when you and I were at our old brokerage, Irene was our controller, right?
Nope.
And so I would go sit with Irene.
Nope. Vice President of Risk Management.
Whatever. I call her a controller. So, anyways, Irene was the one
mistakes
that would kick you in the hoo-ha if you made a mistake. And I would go drop in, and this is the part of the story I want to get to, is the fact that I would go in and I'd say then, okay, Irene, hear what's going on in this deal, blah 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 blah, yakety schmack, right? And then she'd open this giant book. I mean, it was probably 3 inches thick of contract docs, and she'd be like flipping through them and finally getting to it. You're telling me I can just now upload this stuff and get all the information immediately and get my answers printed out for me without even having, I mean, that is insanely awesome. Now, I did like getting my butt kicked by her because she was such a sweet woman, is a sweet woman. She's not dead. But that is really cool. But the nuances, which is I find fascinating, is understanding the prompts, how to say them, how to do them. Like I asked my dad, he and I were talking this morning, and I'm like, Dad, blah, blah, blah. Michael and I are going to be talking about this topic. So, yada, yada. And he's like, well, why don't you try this prompt? And I'm like, what's the prompt? He's like, what was that prompt actually? I wish I had that right in front of me right now. But it's essentially like, hey, give me marketing concepts for buyers, sellers, renters, and investors, and how to utilize them with modern technology, video, and social media. And I'm like, oh, that's a good thought. Okay, yeah, I like that. And I did it, and it popped out some great stinking ideas. I mean, is that something else you can use this for, right? Not just technical stuff, but
100%. There's so much, and what you have to get used to is, unlike Google, where you're trying to get a short form answer, right? How late is the pet store open? Okay, this is about coaxing the information. And if you're not sure about your prompt, hey guys, there's no cost to write the prompt. Put it in there. If you get the wrong information, you get the wrong information. Okay, this is about exploring and testing and all of that stuff. And I love, as in some of my other classes, Greg, what I give as an example is, hey, condos are a big deal. Okay. For some of these multi-unit building concepts that are out there, there might be 400 or 500 condos in a property or townhomes. And they've got an HOA, and you get the HOA documents, and they're like 400 pages thick, right? You got to buy them, and you scan them in. Okay. And I tell people all the time, put those in Drive, put all the minutes in Drive. Okay. Let Drive digest that information. Make the assumption that your seller has never seen these documents. And yes, you're representing the buyer. Assume that the seller doesn't know anything about what's in those documents because they've never read them, right? So the disclosures are going to say, here, the impetus is on you, the buyer, to figure it out. Now you write your query to pull that data and say, review this information. Okay. And Greg, you could do this the way you were talking about, right? I could upload this directly into a prompt. If we go to here, you can add photos and files directly by clicking the plus and
no way.
File. You could add your HOA docs.
No way.
Yes.
So let's say you're representing a buyer, hypothetically.
Yep.
And you get the inspection reports, the disclosures,
100%.
The county information. I mean, you go to title. I mean, everything. You download, put a PDF, upload it, right? And then your prompt would be like, hey, analyze this and tell me if this is a good buy or a bad buy. Something like that.
No, because good buy, bad buy doesn't. That's not for you as a real estate agent to answer, right?
True.
I'm question here is, here's my documents. What do I need to be aware of in this property? So when you put your HOA documents up there, what do I need to know? What are the red flags? What are the positives? If it's HOA docs, is the HOA well funded? Are they prepared for emergencies? Do they have the proper amount of coverages for this? All of those things can be put in there. to say arbitrarily, is this a good buy? Well, you can't answer that, Greg, because what if the truth is that my next door neighbor is my mother or my father or my best friend, and that gives some value that doesn't go into a bunch of documents. So be really careful when we talk about, is it good or is it bad? Those are opinions. Okay.
Those
ChatGPT is going
are
to come back with facts. Hey, the fact is that this HOA has a good history or a bad history or whatever. Or maybe the minutes show that there have been, 17 examples in these 400 homes of properties that are leaking. Okay, that's a red flag to me.
Yeah, it reminds me of my own condo, old condo, excuse me.
Yep.
But I mean, what about? I'm going to shift on you really, really quickly because I'm curious about this. How secure is chat in regards to personal information?
For me, it's a balance. One of the reasons that chat takes longer when it's searching your connected sources is because it's not pulling all that in for general consumption. It's maintaining a silo and it's keeping it private for you.
Okay.
It doesn't live there all the time. Is there a risk? There's always a risk, Greg. But really, what do you have that they're going to take? Some people say financial information. Yeah, but again, the way that data is typically harvested, they don't want your 1 bits of information. It's much more cost effective for them to harvest potterybarn.com, where they're going to get, hundreds of thousands of names, addresses, order history, cell phone numbers, and credit cards than what they could get out of your little bit of data.
Okay, so here's my question. I have two questions here for you.
Yep.
Because I mean, the whole connector thing is just so fascinating and strange and weird and interesting, and just I see so much positive to come out of this. Well, let's say you wanted to get audited by the IRS, right? So you take all your tax information, you upload it into a drive, then you have chat analyze it and see where the failures are, or where you, if you're liable for certain things, or is it not at that level yet?
It is and it's not. It's probably not going to give you, again, I think taxes are a combination of art and science.
And guys, by the way, guys, we're not giving financial advice here. We're just having a conversation for fun.
I'm like, if you get audited, Greg, just go buy a plane ticket.
And fly to Spain. I'm out of here.
Chat will help you find the best pricing on airlines and stuff.
I never even thought about that.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up where we were here. We did the Google Drive specific. Okay, I want to talk about some effective deep research prompts and what you need to be aware of. Okay, so number one, clearly specify your sources. Where do you want to search? Indicate that you want a relevant Gmail folder or Google Drive folder, if at all possible. Okay, you want to put that in there to help it, because some people have massive amounts of data in there, and it's too much to go through in a timely fashion. Define your objectives. Clearly outline what you want to research and what you want to achieve. Okay, this is important. Do you want to summarize? Do you want to analyze? And this is different than find. Okay, if you're in Gmail and you need to find an email, use the Gmail find prompt. Don't go through ChatGPT. Okay, use the right tool for the job. Okay, I talk about this a lot. Provide context, include background information, and any assumptions to help ChatGPT. Pretend like this is a really smart personal assistant. Okay, list your key questions. This does not have to be one question. I find that some people write things and they do their prompts and they do it one question at a time. Use complex prompts. If you want to know 5 things, include the 5 things that you want to know in your prompt. If you want 5 versions of 5 different answers, tell it that. Okay. It doesn't care. It's not going to judge you. It's going to give you the information that you want. Specify the metrics. Okay. If you need to analyze based on specific factors, tell it. Okay. Do you want it to be dollars, euros, whatever you want? Put it in there. All of those metrics and all of that criteria matters. And then be iterative. Refine your prompt based on the initial results to get more targeted outcomes. Okay. And I reuse my prompts all the time. When we're talking about using a prompt, I generally start my prompts in something like Evernote or another tool where I can save that prompt, because you don't always get what you want the first time. Sometimes you have to tweak it to put the emphasis somewhere else. It's complex. It's not easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be powerful. So, Greg, when we talk about these things, it's not a one and done. I many times have to rewrite a prompt. And again, some of my complex prompts are 1, 2, 3, 4 pages long. And I reuse those over time, or parts of them. In addition to my master prompt that we talked about a while ago, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with prompts to get the most value in return.
I think the complexity there is the misunderstanding. And I am 100% guilty of this, by the way. So guys, gals, don't feel bad if you feel the same way. Like, I want to give it like I'm talking to someone on the street, like, hey, where's the best coffee shop? And it's like, okay, where are you? Like, what city are you in?
That's
what
Google, dude.
Huh?
Don't go to chat when you should go to Google.
Right. I understand that, but it's the mindset that I've had for a while. And like today, I went back, I did a prompt, right? And I got a result. I said, that's fantastic. I need you to shift it to this, that, or another thing. I added more detail to it and I went super deep on it. I was actually creating a image with chat for the first time. I've never created an image. It didn't turn out so well. I wasn't too detailed, but I definitely was refining it down. And the second or third time that I did, it actually came back pretty stinking clear.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you have an address, right? 123 Main Street.
Yep.
And anywhereusa.com or anywhere USA, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I need a digital image of 123 Main Street, anywhere USA.
Yep.
But I need the exterior color to be changed to yellow. Front door needs to be red. And I need to show you. You need to show me an aerial image of the property.
Yeah, so an aerial image. So you're getting a little bit ahead of what can be done here, right? An aerial image is going to show the top of the roof. It's not going to know anything about where the door is. What I would say is go to Street View, put that in, and make your changes accordingly. Just be cognizant. I mean, we can go through all these. Well, what if? What could I do?
Right.
Why are you doing this?
So I guess the reason why am I doing this?
See, my point is
to take time off of my plate. So
you shouldn't be doing that.
Right. And so, I mean, I've been doing this game for 26 years. You've been doing it for 20 plus years. I mean, we're not new kittens to the ballpark here, and that analogy did not make any sense whatsoever. But here's the thing. It's when I first started and I was doing a CMA, comparison analysis, for a market, for a property. I had to go in, I had to search, I had to look, I had to do all of this work, and then and put it into a spreadsheet, and then look at what the property could be worth based upon the comps, the actives, pending, solds in a certain time frame. You can literally, because I know I can do this. I just did it today. You can literally ask chat, to do that exact same analysis and put it into a spreadsheet.
Okay.
And I lost my marbles.
And I don't sell the product, but you can also go to NAR RPR and get it with graphs and charts and all of that stuff, probably faster than what you were doing. So again, right tool for the right place. Now, I am going to point out, Greg, and you talk about painting the front and the door and all of that. I had in one of my classes, it came up so I can upload the picture and I can send it to chat and I can say, take the telephone lines out of the backyard.
Oh, that's right. You can do that.
Okay. You can.
I'm agreeing. I'm saying,
so,
yeah.
And then he was going to put that out there as a marketing piece. Greg.
There are so many options there.
Okay. However, what would Irene tell you?
Irene would.
Irene.
Oh, Irene? Oh, she would tell me don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, guys. You can't false represent the property. The lines are there, Greg. You can't get rid of them.
Nope. I have an ex-girlfriend that her parents lived. This is 20 years ago or something. Her parents lived under lived in a property that was under like those really big power lines, like the really big ones.
Yep.
And we'd sit in the backyard and drink some beers, and we can hear the wires snapping with the electricity with like rain or moisture of some sort. And yeah, you could easily take those out of a photo. But I mean, when someone shows up to the house, it's a bad first date on Tinder. You're just kind of like, you're not like your photos. No.
But you're misrepresenting the product. You can't do that.
I know.
Greg, we're at that kind of 40-minute mark that we had talked about wrapping up today. I know we've had a amazing show, and I am super excited about what we got to talk about. If you want to know more about connectors, there's a ton of information out there on ChatGPT. Just do a search. It's that easy. You can also watch this again on YouTube and regeeks.com. And with that, I'm out. Greg, it's off to you.
So wait, let's bring up the RE Geeks logo again.
I'll do that while you.
So guys and gals, Michael and I are building something here, and I mean, I've been a realtor. He's a realtor. He's more techie. I am learning tech, but guys, go to regeeks.com. Go watch our videos. Go kind of digest this information a little bit. Now, it's not an egotistical thing. It's purely because we want you guys to be more successful, make more money at a cheaper cost. I mean, forget about all these other programs. And I'm not saying other programs are bad. I'm not saying that in the slightest. What I'm saying is there's other opportunities where you guys can go and do it on your own. I have my new MacBook. I have my iPhone. I have my computer here and another system there. You have the technology, you have the knowledge, you have the ability. Go put it to work. Go make some money. Go kick some booty and take some names. And by the way, go take a vacation. Yeah. Get on a train, get on a plane, go somewhere where there's, bikinis and margaritas, or, go for a hike in the woods. Doesn't matter. But you can build your business based upon the technology that Michael has discovered and is exposing to you, and that I will unwillingly try to understand, which does not work out all the time. But that's a typical real estate agent. So, guys, go kick some booty, take some names. We're out of time today. Michael, regeeks.com. And what is your company that you work with? Or founded.
If you need support or consulting, supportgeeks.com. Super easy to remember. Supportgeeks.com will get you through to us. Feel free to reach out to Greg or myself, Michael at RE Geeks, Greg at RE Geeks, Michael at Support Geeks. We are here to help. And just remember, because I'm proud of this, of course I'm right.
Well, you're Mike. Of course you're right.
Guys, have a great day. Greg, thank you.
All right, guys.
You know what I'm going to do? Wait, we're going to change it around. I'm going to hit the button.
Oh, you're okay. Well, you know what? Then I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let Michael kill the show. You guys have a blessed day.
Woohoo. Take care, guys.